Hello everyone, welcome to another tournament match. Today, we shall be having, I'm sorry for the thumbnail mistake. The spreadsheet it had it differently from what they had intended. Either that or was a last minute change, but the roles got switched last minute so that Burcmali is going to be hunters, and his intended prey will be Geo today. Alright, let's see what Burcmali has in mind. Interesting. Something of a Worm Talon or a Mr. Green start. Don't recall which one it is. But I personally am not that big a fan of it, but, well, every setup has its pros and cons, so... but we'll see. So these two, I didn't look at the spreadsheet beforehand, but off the top of my head, I can recall that they are definitely candidates for, making it into the knockout phase. Last I recall, from what I can recall, I think. Sorry if this ends up being a misquote, but it, I think Geo currently has 5 wins, or at the very least, at the end of round 3, has 5 wins, and Burcmali had 4. So if Geo gets 2 wins and or Burcmali gets 3, they both could at least. They both might make it. We'll see. That's really all you can say at this point. Alright, Dracula has chosen a starting location, and the supplying can begin. Yes, it has definitely been noticed that Dracula tends to take a little bit longer. Oh, Aggie, a little bit longer on choosing a starting location than he used to. But that is likely because he can now see his opening hand and can plan his starting location based around that. Ooh, interesting. That's not especially... you don't especially mind that, do you? The stake, admittedly, it's better if you can have the stake hidden. But, this early in the game, Dracula will just expect it anyway, so it's not the biggest deal. And as for Mystic Research, well, that's gonna get traded off anyway, so, and it's not exactly too much of a thing that you want to surprise Drac with, either. But, so it's not the worst thing that Dracula knows you have it. So, yeah. Okay, guessing like some sort of internet hiccup there? We'll see. Hopefully we won't have too many issues today. Yeah. Let's see what all happens. Give me one moment. You'll hear the music cut out for a moment. Sorry. I need to check one little something. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, so So he chose to just equip Sister Agatha. Sister Agatha, and I said this quite a few times, so you've likely heard me say this before. But in case this is your first watch of any of my videos, I think that it's best to just search with, even if you don't have a surprising return. Uh, it's best to search with Rufus and Aggie when they show up. And sometimes Harker, depending on how early he is, and whether or not you have a newspaper. If you have a newspaper, then Harker is not especially necessary. But that's kind of all there is to it. As there's reasonably good chance that you'll find a surprising return, especially with getting Aggie that early. And there being 2 copies of the surprising return. And Aggie, this applies a slight bit more to Aggie, and now you can see why starting them separate is not exactly the best idea, as more often than not, you're going to move one to the other within the first 2 or 3 days. So, if you are going to put them both in this area, it's best to just start them together. Same with when you put Seward up there. I just personally disagree with the idea of putting them separate. Yeah. But in any event, as I was saying, Aggie especially, since Aggie is the one that only applies to combat with Dracula himself, and it does nothing else unless you're in combat with Dracula himself. I mean, if you're about to go into combat with Dracula himself, you can summon her back if you have one. Okay, she got traded in an escape route. Either that or she simply switched cards that she's showing. I mean, kind of both, I suppose. But how soon will Burcmali use the Mystic research? Honestly, I mean, we don't know, but that would give the hunters a bit of a boost in their supply, in the progress of their supplying and such. Or if you wait till later, you can supply on the move once you start running into things like spies and possibly accidental getting batted into a night fight with a fighter vamp, therefore losing some items, or simply after staking the first couple of vampires and or hoaxes. Okay, discarding a stake. One stake discarded already. I mean, that seems to say that Gulabin has some pretty good stuff. And presumably Mina has some good stuff as well. What's she showing? Still showing the stake. Okay. So, I suppose it makes sense. One of the oh, okay, the scouts. One of them still has a stake. Bucharest and Constanta. I would have checked Bucharest and Varna personally. As barring the situation where he's hiding at Constanta, he will have been at. If he's been at Constanta, he will have been at either Varna or Bucharest. So, it's a reasonable check, but nonetheless, I think that it would have been slightly better to check Varna along with Bucharest instead of Constanta's. But well, maybe it'll just turn out to be a minor detail. It's possible that he's not even in that area at all. Okay, spending Mystic research now, discarding 2 Dracula cards. Okay, so he has 4 free. Oh boy. Well, you'd best use those night supplies soon, because if you don't find that first encounter, like if you don't get if you don't get if you don't get a what's it called? If you don't get a newspaper, er, or if you do get, or even if you do get a newspaper, if it's just too far away, and or has a hide with a fog. Then I expect that this will be then then knowing that there's Emmanuel Hildesheim, one of the most powerful Dracula events of all, in the discard, you do not want to leave anything behind. You do not want to leave anything to mature. You'll have to be very thorough in clearing the trail, knowing that that's there. Forever Hoax matures, I mean Dracula. You know that Dracula has that as an option, and barring potentially unearthly swiftness and on rare occasion, depending on when the host matures, devilish power, there's really nothing much that can overrule Emmanuel Hildesheim. Okay. Yep, just keep drawing away. Yeah, so if I were a Burcmali, I might use those night supplies soon. So that in the event, basically none of the things that are at the bottom get shuffled around like towards the middle of the deck. Basically, use that domestic research hour to get those extra events while you can. I mean, that being said, I suppose Seward might want to start night supplying to get some to start filling his event slots, and then as could Van Helsing, since he gets 4 free night supplies if they both night supply twice over the next if they both night supply over the next 2 nights in a row, then it's quite possible that he would at the very least get all the value that the mystic research gave him, and the hoax maturing at least wouldn't steal that away from him. Okay, discarding a rifle. Yep, getting his hunter event. So that is, unless I missed him doing another night supply earlier, that is now 2 out of the 4 that he got for free. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, perfect nighttime newspaper report. Hamburg. All right. Well. Nice. Nice-oo. Now even a simple... now it's easy enough. That is easy enough to get to, even if it takes 2 days by... Even simply going by 2 days by train. I would imagine with all the supplying that they've found at the very least 1 horse by now. And there's been enough ticketing that... ticket drawing that I also imagine that they have found at least 1 or 2 of the white ones. Possibly not all of them yet, but... nonetheless, progress towards having all of them. The hard thing about Hamburg, especially when you've started in Munich and not in Vienna, is that unless you use a sense of emergency or a chartered carriage, it takes 2 days to get there. And after Hamburg, there are really only things that as you might step on that you can go to after on the way there. Okay, another pistol and unholy bullets. 3 pistols in the discard. 1 more pistol and that will be all the pistols. But that's not all that surprising. People tend to prefer rifles, as that is an anti-bat weapon. Anti-escapist bat weapon. So, okay. Oh, ouch. A 1 in 10. I'm guessing, oh dear. Ow. We're seeing quite a lot of glue tickets appearing lately. Okay, Mina's trying as well. Okay, good, good. She got one. So I would go to Leipzig so that you can, despite the fact that it's likely that Dracula has been there at some point. Okay, he hasn't. I kind of doubt that he would have risked going down Berlin, Prague, Vienna. I mean, it's possible, but I definitely have my doubts about him doing that. Okay. The fact that he did that while still having, yeah, he had a surprising return, and he has one of the best allies equipped, at least one of the best late game allies. So I can definitely understand that. Makes sense. So so I imagine that Seward may well walk to Bordeaux next. I think that he's trying to meet up with Van Helsing. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll see. There's really not much else we can do for now. Okay. Okay. Okay, Goldaming ruling out the possibility that he went to Berlin, Prague, Vienna. Very good. I like that. Yeah, going to Bordeaux makes sense. Oh, he was at Le Havre last turn. Okay, so that means that he went Cologne, Brussels, Le Havre, and most likely is now currently at not. Oh, I would have simply walked. There's a road there. It's one road, so why risk it if it's still in there? Yeah, I would have simply walked. So, slight mistake there, I think. Oh well. And it looks as if the horses are gonna be just. I think that the hunters may well just move by rail for the majority of this game, as it will take quite a long. I mean, while there may well be one horse left somewhere. In the event that this is a hoax at Hamburg, they may well, she may well have to just, she may well have to just stay there, and like possibly stay there, Basically, if this is something that will use up her stake, she will likely want to just stay there and supply for a couple days to refuel her item count. Okay, a saboteur. That's annoying. It's not the worst. It's not, but on the other hand, it's not the worst thing either. So, and well, he had the rifle to clear it, so that's going to be. But I mean, depending on what this is, potential. Oh, is that last card a weapon? Answer: yes, it is a knife. A very typical thing for Mina to have. So therefore, since it's very Dracula players tend to assume that Mina will have a knife, so therefore it's really not all that harmful to show it. I mean, the mystery of do I have it or not is really not that valuable because people will just expect you to have it. Yeah, looks as if Burcmali is just having random connection issues. So let me see. If he went to Nantes, did he perhaps hide there due to Van Helsing being delayed? And I could see that. I could definitely see that as something he might do. Since he has a weapon, a conventional weapon, and a stake, I think that Mina is well geared enough to move on to the next spot, which will be Cologne. Rifle and crucifix. Let's take another look at this. Both crucifixes, 2 horses, 2 rifles, 3 pistols. The vast majority of the firearms are already gone. Okay, so yes, he did go to Nantes, but he didn't stay there. Possible that he went to Paris, since Van Helsing was, with Van Helsing being delayed. I could see it as something he might do, but personally I think that he went to Clermont-Ferrand to start heading down towards, possibly start heading down towards Spain. Okay, so he's staying there to refuel his last item. I can respect that move. But then again, you have both a stake and a conventional weapon. I think that I would have been satisfied either way. Okay, a rats. Big deal. Oh no. Okay, so Seward and Van Helsing have the last 2 rifles. Yeah, she gets to rest up, regain 1 health. Okay. So then, there's still Cologne and Brussels to address, but the thing is, Van Helsing can go to Brussels, Mina can go to Cologne, and Seward can check, I would assume will check Clermont-Ferrand. I think it's time for Godalming to, if he has a yellow 2 ticket, to train down to Genoa. As he might, if Dracula chooses to go Clermont-Ferrand, Marseille, he might be able to intercept him. I guess might, but nonetheless, simply doing that will at least limit Dracula's options. On the other hand, if he did go down to Marseille, he could then wolf form up to Munich. So it's actually a tough call as to whether or not you should do that, I suppose. Well, apparently Burcmali thinks that he should do it. So, because there he goes. Okay, it was indeed Clermont-Ferrand, and not going to Paris. I agree that that's the better move for Dracula. Mob. Alright. Ow. That's definitely... Mob can be especially painful for Seward. Oh, sense of emergency. I'm not sure that I would have... I'm not sure exactly where he intends to go with that, but I'm not sure if I would have done that. Yeah, I might, especially since you lost your horses. Oh dear. I think he was thinking that he was at Marseille and that he would go to, Toulouse next, and he was thinking to box him in. But yeah, I'm not sure that was the best idea, especially with Van Helsing, and especially with having lost two of the horses. Your movement is relatively poor. Getting cards. Does Van Helsing have a heavenly host? I mean, there are not any in the discard, so it's entirely possible. So this could easily lead into a Van Helsing death. That being said, we do have Sister Agatha. So, and Van Helsing does have a rifle. So therefore, since Dracula knows that, and he does have a heavenly host. Okay. So that's, apart from the trail that's about to mature, that's all. That's, apart from these two, that's all that it cleared. And Mina's march on Cologne. No combat events. However, the good news for the hunters is if Van Helsing survives this, Mina is showing an escape route up there. We know that if worse comes, so long as he doesn't die, he can simply trade that off of. Okay, using that, just getting in the damage. I can understand that. You half expect that Van Helsing to die. Okay, Dracula's starting off with the plotting. See? So, one question that needs to be answered is, what is Van Helsing's third item? Is it a knife, perhaps? Because, if so, they could actually... Van Helsing may well be able to get in some serious damage here. What? Strength, yeah. Garlic. Oh, that's actually a very good defensive card. Blocks strength, blocks fangs, and it does retaliatory damage to claws. So therefore, Van Helsing may well be kitted out enough to... may well be sufficiently kitted out to survive this. Claws. Oh, really? That was a poor choice from Dracula. I mean, unless that was simply all he had, that was just a poor choice, because Van Helsing showed a rifle to the saboteur. So, you knew Van Helsing had that. Or at least should have known. Possible that Gio forgot. But I don't know. This may end up being rather costly for Dracula. I mean, then again, it was Van Helsing who provoked this fight in the end. Okay, escaping his batch, since that was his, but Sister Agatha deals some parting damage. So, a one-on-one skirmish that dealt 8 damage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for the hunters. So he could go down. Dracula could go down to Spain, but the thing is that will eventually send you out to sea. And let's keep in mind that that Van Helsing and Van Helsing didn't get even a scratch of damage apart from the sense of emergency damage. So that went extremely well for Burcmali. So well done to Burcmali. This escape is bad. We do have to keep in mind that Dracula will get a chance to move after this. So, and since he's right next to Marseille, he could go to Milan, Zurich, Geneva. He could also go down to Spain, but I think that's not as good as an idea. And then he can go to Munich. He can, and the thing is, Dracula still hasn't used wolf form, so this is actually far from over. But okay, more bodyguards, huh? Well, in that case, go ahead and show your knife again. So tomorrow, Mina can go to Brussels, silence that encounter. And then, well, apart from whatever Dracula place is right now, that'll be the whole trail cleared. So 8 damage dealt in a one-on-one encounter. And Van Helsing didn't take a smidgen of damage from the combat itself. So that's combat. So yeah, honestly, a rather surprising result to me. Wolf forming, yeah, makes sense. If I had to guess, that will likely be Zurich. As from Zurich, you could go to Leipzig, which he didn't touch earlier. So he could be right next to Mina. He could go over into the east, which, since the hunters don't have horses, have at most one horse. Oh, evil presence? Okay, well that rules out the possibility of Leipzig. At least for the Wolfram location. So that's... Yeah, he's checking non-Spain bat locations. I mean, there's Paris, that could be the spot, but... Yeah. The hard part is that he could be down in Spain, and if they leave that possibility alone too long, that could just get out of control. So they do have to be a little bit careful about how long they put that off. And in truth, they will really only need to put that off one more day before they can just rule, before they can... Unfortunately, Dracula is going to likely misdirect the bat location, so they won't know. If he doesn't misdirect the bat location, then he can have Gul'dan check Milan, Sewer check Zurich, and then Mina checks. And then Mina, assuming that this isn't a bats or a saboteur, can check Paris. So he placed a saboteur here. So presumably he was running out of better stuff to play. Aristocratic. Okay, so she spent her stake, but nonetheless, she didn't get delayed. So now she can check Paris for the bat location if he doesn't misdirect it. Or for that matter, it could be the Wolfram location. Okay, she has a Holy Bullets on her. Is that the last one? No, there's still two that are not in the discard pile. So it's interesting, but I find it unlikely that he won't misdirect the bat location. Yep, there it goes. So now it will be a little bit difficult for the hunters to locate Dracula. Unless, and there is one faster way that they might be able to, and that's if Mina and Van Helsing were to train to Saragossa and then scan Spain, then they could just rule out or confirm that possibility. Okay, and yet another horse gets sent to the glue factory. My goodness. I mean, apart from the horses, everything seems to be looking up for the hunters. Yeah, have Mina scan France, make sure that at least his end location, at least, is not there. Yeah, this is going to be somewhat slow business. So that's all three of them in the discard pile. Goodness gracious. Very, very rotten horse luck. Yeah, he can heal up one more, either that or fetch a ticket. And then she will likely do a psychic bond here. Oh, hypnosis. Okay. So that has ruled out Spain and also ruled out northern Germany. Some sort of delayed northern Germany move. So therefore he likely went like Zagreb or Vienna, and then most likely thing is, admittedly it's obvious, but at this point Dracula just wants to create some distance. Especially after that skirmish with Van Helsing, where he just got pounded with one thing after another. So it's possible that he went to Vienna so as to make the hike to the castle a little bit shorter, or at least seemingly. It's actually the same distance from Zagreb and Vienna. If he goes to Jed from Zagreb to Szeged, Klausenberg, Castle Dracula, and then make his way around to the Black Sea coast. Basically refuel his health and all that. Which you kind of might as well. You know that the hunters have 0 horses, So unless they have start bringing out chartered carriages in sense of emergencies, which at this point there's only one sense of emergency left since Van Helsing spent one. All right, I'm not sure that I would have rumor tokened that, but you do you. Go ahead. Renewed vigor. Yeah, I get it, because that, for one thing, that will allow Gul'daming to supply first. Supply and yet move at the same time. He won't have to waste time. And also that gets him another event. And then as for Seward, well... However, the bad news is that Renewed Vigor does not undelay Mina. She won't become undelayed until tonight. So she's gonna be delayed all day today. So I think I might have waited at least one day on that one. Chartered carriage, that will get him 1, 2, 3. That'll get him all the way to Prague. Yeah, so that's actually a pretty good chartered carriage. All the way from northern Paris to northern Austro-Hungary. So that is definitely an excellent use of chartered carriage. I do not disagree with that one. Yeah, do that, and he too can fill his empty item slot. As for her, sadly, she's just gonna stay delayed, and will only undelay by night. That's the weak part of using Renewed Vigor then and there. But I get it. That's two people who get to supply and move, while meanwhile Seward gets to, I think he also supplied, and it got to chartered carriage. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good, to be sure. Yeah, I think he traded with Mina. Or no, she already had 2 items left from using the stake on the aristocratic. So that's 3 stakes in the discard. But it's not all that unlikely that they have the last one. Right. That's Mia undelayed. So at this point he could be in Klausenberg and could be about to walk into Castle Dracula. He knows that the hunters have very little movement. I'm not sure that I would go to the castle, as that announces your position. But I would definitely want to weave in a feed before leaving the east. That much I would do. Possibly a hide as well. While we're using power cards, as so far we haven't seen any hide. So far, apart from that wolf form, we haven't seen, and the misdirect there, we haven't seen any power cards. So, okay, placing another rumor token. So, yeah, check out Zagreb, check out, okay, here you are, here it is. I'm going to guess, yep, I figured it was probably a reckless. Worth more points, also, who can get you ambush points. Yeah, Burcmali, I know often plays on his phone and therefore is a little bit slower. More that the application is slower on his phone than it is on a PC. Therefore, it's taking him a little bit of time to, because I mean, you can't forewarn a vampire. Okay, escape route. Respectable choice. But that also reinforces the feeling that he has that possibly Goldaming himself has the final stake. Okay, so he can go to Budapest, then go there. Okay, Mina, yeah, is still down on an item. She can, I suppose he's possibly going to use Mina to just simply try to cycle the deck to get the horses back. Okay, so he has both hoaxes in hand, a desecrated soil, a rat, and I think that was a spy for the last one. Okay. Okay, so he does indeed have the last stake. Goodbye, Reckless. And it burned an escape route, but I think that, especially since that was a rumored Reckless vampire, that was well worth the price. That small price. So, yeah, refunding their tickets, trying to, because since they are without horses, they'll want to be able to move around with tickets. I suppose Mia will likely rest, just start refueling. Yeah. So, there are two things to consider here. One, that's the three seemingly most best equipped hunters all chasing after the trail, while Dracula may soon be able to go to sea and just slip away. And that will cost the hunters time. I mean, if they manage to deal with the trail, I mean, good for them. Dracula doesn't get any points until Fury of Dracula, and it is still only week 2, but it is late week 2. There's only a couple more days left till week 3 will begin. So what I would do in Burcmali's place is get Mina situated like in Marseille, Genoa, like be ready to intercept him when he's coming. Oh, Torgar? Oh, playing Renewed Vigor number 2. I don't know if that's the best of ideas, especially since we haven't seen any fog yet. Just because Behind the Veil I don't know how much I like this. I guess he's using it. He's gonna get to refuel off of this with Goldaming, but that's it. And he's getting closer and closer to finding those horses again. Sure, but I just don't know how much I like this. Okay, how far is he going? Bucharest? Okay, apparently Dracula wasn't there. If I had to add a guess, this will be going down to Athens with a hide somewhere along the way. And now he'll feed and then go to sea. But now what the problem for the hunters is Dracula doesn't have to worry about Renewed Vigor. That's both of them spent. I think that might have been that second one definitely may have been a bit premature. Local rumors? Huh. That was the last place you wanted to see that. I would have Mina start heading down towards Marseille, Genoa. I mean, it is true that Dracula is still semi-low on health, but if things continue like this for much longer, I think that Dracula will win simply based on due to time based. Because the time that they'll need to clean up all of this will doubtless be a reasonable amount. It's I would, if I were the hunters, I would actually have Gul'daming start backtracking to intercept him, since he's the one closest to getting back west on by rail. 5 land movements after Zagreb, and they checked, and they were at Prague and Budapest. So, unless it's Vienna with a hide, and then Prague or Munich. Okay, Jonathan Harker. Ooh, do you actually equip that? Because that actually could be handy. Okay, Valona is right there. So that's going to be Sarajevo, Belgrade, Sofia before that? Question mark? Okay, Sofia's there. So he went to Salonika. Okay, so Sarajevo, Sofia, Salonika, Valona. And now Athens. It's very useful that he found Valona right there and Sofia there, because that rules out any high card placement. Oh, Mina found a horse. Have they improved the ticket economy enough where that will actually do her good, or will that one get sent to the glue factory too? And the thing is, Gul'daming may also have found a horse, and if so, so long as okay, this could be interesting. Yeah, this definitely could be interesting. Since there were no heavenly hosts discarded apart from the one that Van Helsing spent dealing 4 damage to Dracula, I would actually be surprised if Van Seward doesn't have one. Okay. Oh, is this a Holy Bullets play? Okay, so that's Dracula's first point. Well, no, except that this is an ambush. This is a nighttime search. Up. Yep. Holy Bullets. That's a dead vampire. And Seward only took 2 damage in the process. Despite the fact that it was a night fight. Didn't lose any. The only item he lost was the Holy Bullets. But that is more than worth it. So now, tomorrow, Van Helsing can go to Sarajevo. He can go to Salonika. Seward can go to Salonika. I think that these two should be able to handle it. it might be a little bit tricky, but that's 2 recklesses gone. So unless this rumor token at that would be at Salonica is also a reckless vampire, then presumably uh there should be a new vampire that they can gang up on somewhere along the way. Hmm. Okay, she's back up to full health. I imagine that Mina's now ready to go. So we know that he's at Athens. As the trail is that Sarajevo. That is Sarajevo. That is Salonika. That is Salonika, and that is Athens. Will he just lay down a high card? Feeding first? Yeah, I mean, despite there being, I might have done a high card first, but well, okay. So Goldam 2 has found a horse. The presence of both Seward and Van Helsing should be enough to pressure Dracula out to sea. Okay, making certain. And besides, with a horse, it'll be relatively quick to get back out. Especially if Dracula goes to sea this turn. He can go to Munich, block one of the most convenient paths out of the Adriatic if he chooses to go back there. If he chooses to go there. I suppose it's not so much back there, but whatever. So, I suppose if you have a yellow 2 ticket, go ahead and use it and go down to Salonica in case it's a new vampire. So that you can gang up on it. Or is that what you do? I don't know. I suppose it depends on what you've got. Okay, what have we got? Oh, it's a yellow 2 ticket, alright. Is he going to ambush? No. Didn't think so. But one never knows for certain. So I personally would have Mina use that horse to get down to Marseille, the Marseille-Genoa area. Oh, she just found CG. And we know that the hunters have at least 2 heavenly hosts, because the only one that they discarded was the one that Van Helsing used in the combat at Toulouse. So therefore, okay, so Goldaming is gonna lose a weapon here, if he has one. Losing a knife. Do you search this by night, or do you wait for day? Oh, it's the last reckless empire. If you have, I think that if you had a heroic leap, I would have used that, especially since it's Seward. So Seward has a rifle. We know that. Fangs first. Knife. Yeah, he did Fangs first out of caution if Seward chose to play the Heavenly Host. But personally, I think that will be unlikely. He'll want to, if you ask me, he'll likely want to keep that around, especially since he's drawn Consecrated Ground at this. So that there's the chance that he might be able to get a CG nuke. Or, in any event, just inconvenience him. Oh. Well, that's not. That's definitely inconvenient for for the hunters, but so what next? I personally would. What would I do next? I personally would, especially since you just punched, I would just dodge. I would expect a strength from him. Yeah, I just. Yep. And now you lose your rifle. But then again, I definitely applaud using the rifle over the knife, because since you're not mesmerized yet, rifle will kill it just the same as a knife will. Uh, Claws did dodge. Good. Nice. Nice, nice. I see, yeah. The hunters have plenty of time to deal with this thing. So, claws again. This time you won't be able to stop it. But it's dead. The knife will finish it off. Oh, except this is a night fight, so... Oh, they don't have great strength. In which case, I wouldn't have chanced that knife. But then again, I suppose you had just done dodge and you launched your rifle. So true. That's gonna hurt. Four influence is... That affects the math for Fury of Dracula points. Quite a bit. Uh... If you had a combat event, I would have used it. If you didn't, well, oh well. But I think that would have been worth doing a heroic leap on. So, looks like it will likely be up to Van Helsing. Uh, and and I suppose Gul'daming as well, but he just lost a knife, so I'm not sure that that's the best idea. Sending Gul'daming. So we know that Seward lost a knife, a rifle, and I'm guessing that the third one was the Heavenly Host that he was holding in reserve. Oh, except night fight, right. Okay, going to see. Without doing a hide. Yep, as I expected, lost a Heavenly Host. And the thing is, he may well have lost a white one too. So, those horses may well be in danger again. I suppose, truth be told, since we haven't seen use any excellent weathers yet, I might send Gul'daming to, if there's an excellent weather kicking about. Okay, good horse roll. Good horse roll. Nice. Do you have him backtrack, or do you have him advance on the trail? Okay, going to Athens, yes, makes sense. Especially since he's down an item, so he can... I mean, since there's time before this matures, he can supply once to refill the item slot. Yeah, I would have Van Helsing search this now for a day fight. Why did you bother showing him that? That could have been... Because that could have been one more weapon, for all Dracula knew. And you know it's a vampire. Why on earth did you show him that? Okay. That's simply a mistake. As Dracula now knows that you have only two things that may be weapons. May not be weapons. I believe that Dracula... unless there's the rifle that Van Helsing was holding got traded, he also knows about that. Mesmerize first? Garlic. Well, that's definitely good in a one-on-one fight. It's definitely... In a one-on-one fight, it is definitely a good card. The problem is that it's not proactive. It's... admittedly, since he played a Mesmerize, it wouldn't have done any That wouldn't have done any better. Yeah, I minimized the value from the heal. But now, so unless I'm mistaken, we know Van Helsing's entire hand. He has a dogs, he has a garlic, and he has a rifle. So what does Dracula do next? I mean, personally, I would just do a strength because that will cancel the rifle if he plays that, and the garlic doesn't harm you if he plays that. Yep, precisely. And next, next I would plot next actually, since Van Helsing more likely than not will play the garlic, so therefore plot. Okay, that's the next best thing. Dodge. Yeah, that makes sense. If you're gonna get plotted on, do the one that will get cancelled by plotting later. First. That makes sense. Well done, Burcmali. Strength, and now garlic. Yeah, so nothing happens. That thing going up. Claws. Dodge. Okay. So Van Helsing, that's in favor of the vampire. It in effect gained 1 HP back. So, but at least Van Helsing didn't take too much damage. Okay. They seem to have fixed the horse economy, but I wonder how much Seward's death has affected that. I'm not sure about moving to Zurich, but okay. Go ahead. It's at least puts her closer to the action. I suppose. Oh boy. A Goldaming who had to discard a knife and has a horse, so therefore, okay, yeah. Using planned damage as a fancy escape route, I can definitely respect that. So, yeah, just play dodge, see what he does, see what Dracula chooses to do, and then just depending on what he does, make your choice after that. Yeah, just escape. Stick with it. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Because chances are the thing that Goldaming is holding, that wasn't the knife. Chances are that it is a Heavenly Host that could power up CG that Mina's holding. Yeah, I fully agree with that choice. How many Drachmans have gone by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 12. So there's still 13 in there, which means that the odds aren't great. It's a 1 out of 3. It's basically a 33% chance that there's a Drac event on the bottom. But I think that you might need to do that. Especially since the rest aren't faring all that great. So given the circumstances, let's keep in mind that there are four stakes in that draw pile. More likely than not. So I would have Gul'dan's supply for his turn. As for this, I might actually use CG to blockade Genoa and stop him from landing at Cag. Make him either have to move a third sea space, making him lose more health, albeit putting him even further away from you, or land in southern Italy. I might do that. Probably not the best idea. You'll want to wait for him to land. But okay, let's hope that this goes better. Because they have to deal with this today. Otherwise, he'll rocket up to 11 influence. And if that happens, Dracula actually has enough health to just go cruising about until week 4 begins. Mesmerize? Did he punch first? No. Yeah. I think that the vampire is just going to play defensive now. He'll just continue to just play Mesmerize Strength, and then Escape is missed as soon as he can. Because if they fail to kill this today, then it's going to mature for 7 points. So the vampire's goal is just to stay alive. Nothing more. Mesmerize punch? Nope. So that's bull. So now the vampire can escape as missed if he can. So I would play the rifle next, actually, as Van Helsing, in case he tries to escape as bat. What will the vampire likely do since you just played garlic? Well, there's the escape is missed. Okay. So unless there is one thing they might be able to do. If both Mina and Goldaming have a Henley host, which, while it's unlikely, it is possible, they might be able to they might gamble that he went Adriatic Sea and blockade all the Adriatic Sea ports, trying to make him do an error, as that would erase all of his trail. I doubt that Dracula took that risk, but it might be necessary for the hunters to win. To do that, for the hunters to be able to win. Oh, he's going for it. If Van Helsing dies in this combat, that's game. That's just game. Because that will be another 4 points, and then it'll mature for 7 more, and that will be game over. Yeah, I think that... well, let's see what happens first. Okay, went with the rifle first. To play around claws. Not good. That the vampire chose to... the vampire may choose not to go for killing Van Helsing, but nonetheless, that would be game over. As I said, game over, and Gio would just win right here and now. So it will definitely be tempting. Oh, got the punch in. Got the punch in. So if he manages to line up the garlic with the fangs, then he might still be able to do this. Or frankly, another option is that he just dodges and then punches again, and then dodges and punches again. That there are enough rounds for that to happen. But the vampire is surely going to draw an escape. And now that the rifle is gone, either escape will work. If the vampire has an escape, since you just dodged and if you have a claw, you win. Because that garlic won't finish you off until okay, played the garlic. Naturally. Okay. Shame he didn't punch there. Because Dracula can cancel anything he does. That was his last combat event left. So, sadly, that's it. This is going to be game in favor of Geo. GG will play both. GG will play both. Yeah, I think that Burcmali was sadly a little bit too liberal with his events. Even a vampire lair won't help them. That will only reduce it to 6, which is not enough. So yeah, Geo's got this. Unless he accidentally layers that vampire, then then he gets the game. And even if he does do that, chances are he's won, simply due to the circumstances. Wait, well, I suppose there is one hope, and that's if Mina plays CG right now, and he did go Adriatic Sea, and he can force Dracula into making an error. That is the hunter's only hope. So there is that one hope. I may have said that a little bit prematurely. Apologies if that ends up... Because, well, actually, if that happens, then it is GG well played in favor of the hunters. So it ends this night. It ends this night, one way or the other. Nope. Alright, very well. Geo gets the win. Yeah, that was very well fought by Dracula. Apart from that combat in Toulouse, that was just it was combat that decided the game. Both okay, and he went Trinity Sea, so that last hope was somewhat feeble anyway. But that one really just came down to combat. While Burcmali won the first combat, that was to Dracula himself, which is why he got why Geo got a lower IDS score. After that, with the Reckless Vampire there, that was MVP Reckless Vampire. No problem. No problem, Geo. So yeah, it was just combat all the way. There's really not much more to say to that, and there will soon, actually just 10 minutes be another game. So I'd best prepare the live stream for that one as well. So thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time.